In relationships, trust and transparency are essential, but sometimes you might notice signs that suggest there's something fishy going on behind the scenes. If you're feeling uneasy or suspecting your partner might be involved with some others, then here are some signs to consider. So without any further ado, let's go to the topic. First sign, overemphasis on privacy. Have you noticed she's unusually secretive about her phone or activities? If she frequently downplays the importance of privacy or becomes defensive when you ask about her whereabouts, it might be a red flag. For example, she might become agitated when you inquire about her phone usage or avoid discussing her plans. This excessive secrecy can sometimes point to multiple relationships where she's protecting her personal space to manage her connections discreetly. How does it feel when someone is overly secretive with you? Reflect on how this might affect your trust and communication in the relationship. Second sign, inconsistent communication. Has her responses to calls and messages become unpredictable? Maybe she's often unreachable, or her communication patterns seem erratic. For instance, she might go through periods of silence or provide vague answers to straightforward questions. This inconsistency could indicate that she's balancing communication with several partners, making it challenging to keep her story straight. Have you experienced frustration from inconsistent communication? Think about how consistent and reliable communication is crucial for a healthy relationship. The third point is secretive behavior. Does she frequently hide her phone or social media accounts from view? Perhaps she's overly protective of her devices or frequently changes passwords without explanation. For instance, she might make a point to ensure her phone is always face down or change her social media passwords often. This secretive behavior could suggest that she's managing multiple relationships and wants to keep her interactions concealed. What is your reaction when someone hides their phone or accounts from you? Consider how such behavior impacts your sense of security and openness in the relationship. Fourth one is unexplained expenses. Have you noticed an increase in her spending on gifts, dates, or travel that doesn't align with her usual financial habits? For example, if she suddenly starts splurging on expensive gifts or spontaneous trips without a clear reason, it could be a sign she's investing in multiple relationships. This shift in spending patterns might be her way of managing or impressing different partners. Have you ever noticed unusual spending habits in a relationship? Reflect on how financial behavior can sometimes hint at underlying issues or additional relationships. The fifth must notice is the change in routine. Have you noticed significant shifts in her schedule without clear explanations? For instance, she might suddenly have new commitments or altered routines that don't align with what you previously knew. This could be a sign she's managing multiple relationships and adjusting her schedule to accommodate them. Have you experienced changes in someone's routine that felt unusual or unexplained? Consider how these changes impact your sense of stability and transparency in the relationship. Sixth, lack of availability. Is she often busy or unavailable during times that were once consistent? Perhaps she's frequently occupied with new activities or seems to have less time for you than before. This lack of availability can be indicative of a busy social life with different partners. Have you felt frustrated by someone's sudden unavailability? Reflect on how important consistent availability is for maintaining a healthy relationship. Seventh, avoidance of future plans. Does she seem hesitant or reluctant to make long-term plans or commitments? If she frequently avoids discussing future events or deflects questions about future plans, it could be a sign she's unsure about her commitments due to multiple relationships. Have you noticed reluctance to commit in your interactions? Think about how future planning contributes to the stability and direction of your relationship. The eighth is vague answers. When you ask about her whereabouts or activities, does she provide evasive or vague responses? For example, she might give non-specific answers or change the subject when asked about her day. This vagueness can be a tactic to obscure the fact that she's balancing interactions with several people. How do you feel when someone gives vague answers to your questions? Consider the impact of clear and honest communication on your trust and connection. The ninth point is emotional distance. Have you noticed a growing emotional detachment or a lack of intimacy in your relationship? If she seems distant, less engaged, or less interested in deep conversations, It could be a sign that her emotional energy is being spread across multiple relationships. Have you experienced emotional distance in your relationship? Reflect on how this shift impacts your connection and overall relationship satisfaction. 10th point is frequent new contacts. Is she introducing you to new friends or contacts who seem to be kept separate from her other social circles? If she's frequently mentioning or spending time with new people, but keeping these interactions isolated, it might be an indication of managing different relationships. Have you noticed an influx of new contacts in someone's life? Consider how these new relationships fit into your understanding of her social life. Last point of the list is the changes in appearance. Has there been an unexplained change in her appearance or grooming habits? For example, she might adopt new styles, use different fragrances, or pay more attention to her looks. Such changes can signal an effort to impress or attract someone new. Have you observed changes in appearance that seemed unusual? Think about how appearance plays a role in your perception of the relationship. So here a question arises that, what should you do if you found something as such? Don't worry guys, here's your answer. If you suspect she has multiple partners, you should start by calmly assessing the situation based on observed signs like changes in routine, lack of availability, and unexplained expenses. Reflect on any emotional distance or vague answers she might provide. Approach the situation with a composed mindset, addressing your concerns directly but respectfully. Avoid overreacting or making accusations without clear evidence. Instead, focus on having an open and honest conversation about your observations and feelings, and consider what boundaries or changes might be necessary for your well-being. Handling the situation with Stoic principles, emphasizing rationality and emotional control, can help you maintain dignity and clarity while addressing the issue. But guys, just don't overthink if everything is going well, and just enjoy your life.